In this episode of It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room, I'm going to bring you another collection of Fistful of Joes. So, yo, Joe! Hello, friends, and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. Sorry, been a little bit busy with summer festivities, and I haven't been able to do as much filming as I like. So, for this episode, I'm going to give you another collection of Fistful of Joes.
Yo, Joe!
I'm going to dive right back into the same box that I was digging from last episode, so let's see who we get. And like I said then, this is a mixture of 25th anniversary and OGs. And I'm starting to come to grips that the 25th anniversary are starting to be retro. What are they, over 10 years old now? So I'll start counting them as real Joe figures, I guess. And, oh, I glanced. So let me mix it up here and see who I randomly pull from the box. Oh, this feels like a lot. Okay, let's see who we get. First off is a 25th anniversary figure of a character that's very special to me. Airborne. Now, the 25th anniversary really amped up the awesomeness. From what was just molded plastic is now, I don't think it's, no, you can't take it off, but it's layered. We have a layered vest. We have these awesome, I don't know what you call them, but straps for parachutes when you jump out of planes. He has a pistol that goes into his holster here. A very cool backpack. Let's put that on him. One thing is, they really changed the posts on these. I wish they were the original size. That would add to some cool customization of using some of the old gear with the new figures. And something that doesn't really make me happy. He originally came with just an M16 with a bayonet, but they kind of upped it with the extra grip here. But still pretty cool. And of course comes with a base, so I don't need to show you that. But here's Airborne. And whenever I pull the original figure out of the collection, I'll tell you the story of why he's important to me. But like the original, he's got a removable helmet. And I think we have more of, like his file card used to say, his Native American heritage look to him than the original figure. And wasn't he awesome in the cartoon with his ESP and stuff? Yeah, we got all the stuff back in here. That I thought was awesome, and his brother shared it too. But into the pile with ye. Oh man, another special figure. Back in the day, you wanted to get figures with the most gear. And Blowtorch here, that fit the bill. Now, this is one that I picked up at a convention, I think the Baltimore Comic Con, and the price was right. He's a little loosey-goosey. Dancing Queen. But, a little rusted up, too, I see. Nope, dropping my Joes. But, got his helmet. A little bit closer there for you. His awesome mask and respirator that I won't tighten up because I don't want it to break, because I think mine originally busted and you just kind of hold it on there and be sad about it when you want to play. But it plugs into his little chest thing here, and he has his blowtorch. This, like I said, back in the day, you hunted down the ones that came with the most gear, because you felt like you were getting your money's worth. Well, it wasn't your money, your parents' money's worth, but it was just awesome to have a guy draped in helmet, backpack, blowtorch, face mask. One of my favorites. And I keep them in it. Oh, his blowtorch is peeking out here. Get back in there. Oh, shoot. But I keep them in this cool container that I bought them in because that's pretty neat. If I could, I would buy 1,000,000 of these and hang up all my Joes around the room. But, I ain't got that kind of budget. As you can tell from this slapdash show. Anyway, getting back to last episode and my unfortunate realization that Zartan's swamp skier was busted. Here's the man himself, Zartan. Very happy that I found this one. He still has his color changing stickers under his pads there. He still changes color in the sun last I checked. Got his gun and take this off. His awesome backpack and mask. And like I showed with the Fun School version that had a very rigid mask, this one is much more pliable. As you can see how easily the mask goes on. Now he's a whole nother guy. You wouldn't know that Zartan walking down the street. Oh, yeah, it is. So silly, because everyone dresses like this. Oh, you would have really fooled Joe back in the day. But, as I said, the handle for the box that the swamp skier comes with is in with him. So he can, I guess, take it out on land and walk around with it, or drag it. I mean, that thing's got to weigh a couple 100 pounds. That ain't easy. But it's like, oh, I got to get a hamburger and get out of the swamp, so let me bust this down, put it in a box, and drag it with me a couple miles to the Burger King. Anyway, pick up all the ones that fell here. Here's another 25th anniversary of yet another one of my favorite characters of all time, Wild Bill. Awesome because he has his vest is not molded on anymore. His hat. And his Colt 6 shooters that were always molded on the figure, and you wished you could pull them out. You wish you could pull them out of the original figure because they look so cool with their pearl handles. Now you can. And, whoa, don't want to lose his hat. What's cool is his flight suit is very reminiscent of like Vietnam era, where it's very baggy around the arms and legs to fit the air cavalry character. But there he is without his hat. Here he is with his hat. Well, got kind of cocked there, like he's got some swagger. But one of my favorites. I love the Hornet, and Wild Bill was awesome. And yet again, that was one of those toys that just surprised me when Santa had it under the tree. I never knew anything like that existed, and how awesome it was with the little thumb thing to get the propellers to spin, and how cool they were with their little red rubberized tips. I mean, awesome. I wish I still had the Hornet. This dude is an OG, and I'm not 100% sure here, but I think this has had a little bit of a customization paint job to his shirt. I could be wrong, but I don't remember it having such dark highlights. But, and I'm, excuse me, itching. Could be completely 100% wrong even on the name. I don't think I am, but Astro Viper. And he had this awesome Space Force type of backpack that you could go through space and fight Joe. And the big Defiant space shuttle. But like I said, I think it's customized with the paint job a little bit, because the dark highlights on his outfit are really standing out, and they never really did that. You know, what creases were molded into the shirts and pants and stuff were just that, they were molded in. But it looks like somebody did a dry brush on him to bring out those creases and stuff. Now let's take off his helmet here. You can see it's pretty typical Cobra face. He has a walkie-talkie thing going on here, and you can see a respirator going across his nose to help him breathe. But awesome. I never had him originally. I picked him up definitely secondary market at a local toy store. But like I said, they have people just sell their collections, so they have ones that they tinkered with, and they actually sell them for a lower price because they're not mint. But I think they're awesome. If you remember the Darklon that I showed a few episodes ago. Now, this dude I picked up in an antique store, super cheap. And one of the things about this character is the chest emblem is so easily taken off because of the silver paint. I don't want to speak out of school, but I think it might be the Hiss driver? Oh, it's an 82-83 swivel arm. So it's one of the, it's an OG, super OG. Little loosey-goosey in the waist. Hubba hubba burning love. But, awesome condition. I mean, look at that chest emblem. Tiny little bit of wear and tear, but I've seen them a heck of a lot worse. But super happy. And they had this figure in a glass case. I forget, but it was super cheap, and I just about had a heart attack because I needed to have it right then and there. But, oh, I'm putting them back in the box. That's a no-no. Don't want to pull them out again. Anyway, that has been another segment of Fistful of Joes. I hope you enjoyed it.
I hope you enjoyed the first segment. Now, enjoy this commercial.
G.I. Joe!
地上最強のエキスパートチーム G.I. ジョー登場。秘密組織コブラが君を狙っている。
G.I. Joe!
地球の平和をかけて G.I. ジョーは立ち上がった。 SF アドベンチャーヒーロー、その名は
G.I. Joe!
Okay, now that we're back, Fistful of Joe's time. Yo, Joe!
Yo, Joe!
Okay, like with all Fistful of Joe's, grab one of my containers here, and I grab a random fistful of G.I. Joe figures. So let's take a look at what we get. Let's see here. Oh, got some good ones. Looks like we're a little light, so let me grab another one here. Okay. First off is the one I just grabbed. Beachhead. Now, I'm embarrassed about this one, I will admit. But this is a Fun School Beachhead. And at the time, I wasn't happy about his color scheme. So I painted him a darker green. The Fun School was a more lime green, I guess you could say, version of him. But I wanted to make him a little bit darker like his original version. And I did a horrible paint job. I could probably skim this off since it's just toll paint. Maybe I will. But I got him with a bunch of my other fun school Joes all at the same time. But he's the only one that I customized. But, I mean, you gotta love it because it comes with all the original, even though they're more cheaply made, weapons and accessories. So he has his awesome gun, which I always dug, and his backpack with the crossbow. And I guess this, I'm speaking totally out of school here, is like a satellite radio hookup. Like the umbrella of the satellite SATCOM. But anyway, that's a fun school beachhead that I screwed up. And like I said, I'm embarrassed about it. But we're all friends here, so I speak the truth. This guy tried to get away, but I caught him. One of my favorites I never had as a kid, and I was lucky enough to find him in a toy store much later. Complete-ish, I think. I think it's complete. But Tripwire. Ooh, he's a little loosey-goosey in the waist, as you can see. But he's in pretty decent condition. Have a little bit of slight rust on the thigh screws. His backpack screw isn't too hateful. But he comes with his mines in the backpack there. But he was one I always wanted. For some reason I didn't get him. I think it was just that he was not readily available. But there he is with his minesweeper. Or his metal detector when he's out on the beach on leave. Boop, 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 boop. Ah, bottle cap. Damn it. Doo, doo, doo. A penny. Hooray. But anyway, I always loved this dude. I think because he was very unique when at least I first heard of him, because he was the second wave of Joes, if I remember correctly. Swivel arm. But he looked different than the first wave. So I think when I first saw him, it blew my mind because he didn't look like the original dark green Joe figures. I mean, I'm assuming like his pants are probably redid of, well, maybe. He's got a different piece there on the front. But like the back with the pocket and the pistol here was pretty common. The boots are definitely different in the arms, and of course the head, the chest there. Again, sorry for the hunka hunka burning love. Sorry for the waist there. I don't want to put a new band in there because I don't want to screw it up in the process. I'd rather it fall apart naturally and then fix it. Ooh, another one here that I was lucky to find for a pretty good price, complete. Hopefully I don't drop all of his crud here. But 1987's Fast Draw. Here, let me put this on. You can see him without his gear first. But a very colorful character. And of course, as I've mentioned before, excuse me a second, in past episodes, I just gravitate towards unique and cool color combinations. So he has a flip down visor here, and he's got a quilted front, but not a quilted back. But let's get them all geared up here, shall we? Forgive me, I'm not going to put the hoses on because they're wound up pretty neat, so I don't want to mess them up. We'll put his one hose on. That went from his mask. Where the heck did it go? Assuming it went here on his backpack. Sorry, folks. Sorry, folks. It's been a while since I even played with this dude. Here we go. A hose from his helmet on over. And he came with triggers for this missile system that's now upside down. What the heck's going on here? Yeah, I put the missiles on backwards. Anyway, since it will be difficult, he came with triggers for this backpack that you could pretend that he was arming the missiles and then going to fire them at somebody. Awesome as a kid. I mean, anything that shot missiles, especially on a dude, was awesome. I mean, I was always a fan of the movie Commando with that big missile launcher, so someone like this dude, it's like, oh yeah, that takes it up a notch. He ain't messing around. And we have his file card to the gray. You know, the gray, I think, was cool, but I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for the original tan, yellow, whatever color you want to call them, file cards. But before we dive into the next figure, let me pick this fool up. Yep, got his hose. Back into the bag with you. How dare you try to run? Seal him up in the bag. Now the next figure. Classic. Classic. This blew my mind, and honestly, I still get chills. Sergeant Slaughter. There was nothing more awesome than seeing him on Saturday Morning Wrestling. Then all of a sudden, he's in my favorite cartoon. Now granted, he had his heel and face moments on wrestling, but hero through and through in G.I. Joe. I wish I still had the baton, and he's got a lot of wear on him. What year is he from? 1988. But they were just like, this is probably a strong over-exaggeration for saying this, but like cultural watersheds. And as a kid, this was like the two things clashing together. Real life with your favorite toy and your favorite cartoon and your favorite comic book. mind-blowing. Excuse me. Now here's another Fun School that I got. And yet again, it's a character I always wanted as a kid, but never had. But it's Buzzer, the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought without his backpack at the moment, but that's fine. His backpack looks like a fuel can. I'm assuming to power up his chainsaw gun. Which again, these Fun School accessories weren't as well made, so I'm not going to mess with it. Very cheap, very flimsy. I mean, they're also, you can light passes through them. That's how chintzy they are. But that's his chainsaw gun. This nasty axe blade on a chain to cut fools. And just an awesome looking figure. And it's really close, other than quality issues, to the original figure. So I'm happy to have him in place of the original at the moment. If I ever come across the original for a decent price, I'll definitely get it. But for now, he makes me happy enough being in my collection. Excuse me. Anyway, okay, like always, got a bin here. Gonna reach in and grab a fistful of Joes. Well, this feels like a big one. Let's see. First off, here's a loose guy. Breaker. And as you can see, he's missing a thumb. But I still have his helmet. That says something. Well, without all the attachments, unfortunately. But this is where it all started. No swivel grip or swivel arms. He always had Kung Fu grip. And the date on him is 1982. This is where it all began. This is... oh, it's just breathtaking, honestly. Sorry to be dramatic about it, but when these came out in 82, just changed my world. I know it changed a lot of yours out there. So I should bag him up. Broken thumb was what was throwing me. Okay, got a little mishmash here. Okay, here's a Snake Eyes that used the original mold. Let's see what date he has on him. 1997. The original mold, one of the biggest differences from the original, the highlights too, is webbing here, his grenade, his visor. Sorry if you can't see that. Working on getting the lights fixed here in the laundry room. But that's him. He came with, instead of his satchel, an M16. Show you here in a second. Loading them up. And his classic Uzi. This is the more newer style that came out later. But the thing I loved about this wave was they were mostly the original molds. So you can't fault that. The file cards, not the biggest fan of. Here, let me show you. They kind of lack the panache of the originals. This fills in. This is the more thorough origin of him with the helicopter crash and all. But let me put him back in his bag, and then our next Joe will be, excuse me a second, screen keeps resetting for some reason, a 25th anniversary. Rock and roll. Like I said, I've come to grips recently that these 25th anniversary has some age to them now, so I guess I could, or I should, treat them with a little bit more respect, since they've been out for a while now. But forever, these were just the new ones, you know, but heck, G.I. Joe's not even on the shelf anymore in their store, so these are darn near vintage now themselves, I guess. But one thing I loved about the 25th anniversary were the little embellishments that they would have on their uniforms. They would actually make them molded pieces, like his M60 bandolier here, knife, which comes out. And speaking of his M60, put him down for a second. A real upgrade from the original one, which just came with a little black bipod that would come out. But here we have a much bigger one. Folds up. And he came with bullets that stick in the side here. So let me try this here. See if he can wrap the bullets around his arm a la Rambo in Rambo First Blood Part 2. Oh, he dropped his helmet. Bear with me here as I play with my toy. It's a little difficult. Oh, there went the bipod. Oh, fudge. That's the closest I can get right now. But just imagine at the end of Rambo 2. Blowing up all the computers there at the base. Oh, let me pick up his gear. One of the great things about these figures too is they came with great stands. I hate that Hasbro had to slightly rename their characters, so now he's, I guess, Staff Sergeant Rock and Roll, which stinks because they were the original. They shouldn't have to change their name. Everyone else should have to change their name. Next, here is the Techno Viper. Little loose, but as loose as he is, I don't mean that as a judge on his character, he has all of his gear. Here's all of his tools. Has his hose here. Well, both hoses. One can be attached to his tools. So we'll attach one there. And one goes to his awesome blaster. So hold on, let me get them all geared up and I'll put them back on camera. Have to get them camera ready. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Here we go. All geared up with his laser gun and his tools on his back. Of course, one of them popped out, of course. Here we go. And other than him being a little loosey, great condition, great figure. Awesome design. Love the colors. Love the silver Cobra logo on his chest. Okay, what year was this? 1987. He's got a little bit of rust on the legs, but don't we all at our age? But anyway, great figure. Little loose, but complete for the most part. So I can handle a little loose while having all the gear. Next, I wish we had grabbed his brother as well. Here is Tomax, I believe, or is it Zaymot? He doesn't have the scar. Oh, sorry, he does have the scar. So is it Zaymot then? Came out in 1985. One of the biggest things I love about him and his brother are his knee pads with the Cobra logos. And I love the packaging, the mirrored packaging. I remember I was at a Cub Scout camp over my birthday. One of my parents picked me up. They had these guys for me. Blew my mind. Never saw anything like that before. I mean, like I've pointed out before, there was no finger on the pulse of toys. When it hit the shelves, that's when it existed. And I didn't get out that much, but my parents found this awesome. Now, they came with big handguns, huge ones, and a little wheelie thing and a string, I guess to show their circus performer backgrounds, that they were acrobatics. But anyway, great batch of figures tonight. A little bit of different generations of G.I. Joe, but no matter what generation, they've been consistently awesome.
Thanks for watching this episode of It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. Stick around, I'll be doing some new episodes soon. But until then, if you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment down below. I love reading them and I love getting back to you all. And if you're new and you really enjoyed this, please hit the subscribe button and that little bell to be notified whenever there's a new episode. So, until next time, keep being rad and stay dorky.